Hello people, welcome to another episode of Iron Fist Mining. I'm back at my spot, my favorite place to dig for gold that's up the street from my house here in Lincoln, California. Now that I'm down here, I had some sticks in the mud, as such, and this line of rocks to mark where the water once was. It is receding, thank goodness. This is where I was sluicing out. The water was flowing through there, you remember that? And this was where the sluice was sitting, and now it's like a trickle. In fact, where the buckets are, that was all underwater. And I think even in this resolution, you'll be able to see the hole I dug. It's made a nice little pit, and that's about 3 feet deep there. So I was probably at 4 or 5 feet straddling that chasm, trying to get it out before I cut all the way down. Now that the water's dropped, it's exposed a better spot that it'll probably have good gold in it. Even though I know the better stuff's over there, I'll probably get some. I have a little bit of work to do and some topics to address, which we will get to. I wanted you to see what's going on here. First. Oh, and in the last HB episode, I turned to using this attachment head with it was a 45-degree angle elbow or a 90, and then I cut it. And then what I'm doing is I jab it down into the dirt. And then once I get it, or it's facing this way, and then when I pull it out, I just rotate the whole unit that way, and none of the stuff falls out of the end. Douche. What it's basically doing is the dredge will pull an 8-inch area and make it look like this. Clean, nothing in between, and it's removing all that material, even the rocks. So what I'm kind of getting at is the dredge doesn't have to pull up these big rocks. It leaves them behind and replaces it with material like that. That much volume and mass replaced in the dirt and such that holds the gold. Something about the material that's here, 90% of the material that's in this is this decomposing granite. It's probably responsible for what's leaving most of the toxins behind here. The barium, possibly, as granite does have a small radioactive signature. And they make countertops out of that stuff. Jeez. Anyway, the other percentage is made up of non-decomposing granite. This is what it looks like before it starts to turn to sand. And then you have a percentage of quartz. And some of this other weird stone, I'm not sure what it is, but it makes a distinctive noise. It almost sounds like glass. And I'm pretty sure that's what's holding most of the mercury, because I've smashed some of the rocks up as they glitter. And then you have some of these, this iron ore rock, the little lumps and bumps that are on these whole pieces of iron, a magnet sticks to them. And then the rest is mud or clay. So some of these larger systems, like up in the Mother Lode or Hidden Falls is by here, it has what I call aquarium rock, where it's material similar to this decomposing granite. So there's no mud or clay for the gold to get stuck on top of this. If the gold hits this stuff and there's nothing to impede it, like sand or mud or clay, it falls straight to the bottom. So you're kind of forced to go down as deep as you can if you want to see a good amount of gold out of a big rock system. This is a small rock system, that's why the gold's small. What else? Oh, one of you guys called my house about using Todd's Bazooka Gold Trap. Now, I've told you guys before, I have talked to Todd. I just can't afford one of his units right now, and I don't want to be tempted with it. That and Todd's, you have to run it kind of quick water. I'm not sure if it'll work here. Plus, you know, if I use it once, and I don't want to show you my spot. I don't. There's only a couple of people that know about it. Just because you guys have come in and booger it up, you change it. And all the gold that I've got to date has come out of this spot because of the way I do it. You follow what I'm saying? That's why I was so adamant in a couple of the other episodes. I don't want to change this spot because it pays to leave it be. Eco-friendly, baby. Keeping it the same, and then the gold I take out of here today, tomorrow's gold will be completely different gold that came down because I didn't change the system too much. So there's got to be a balance in there. If you want to keep getting gold out of the same location, which should make it easier for you, right? Turn your favorite spot into a better gold-making location. That's why I like coming here. Before, I ain't lying, this spot sucked. This was one of my least favorite spots to come to. I used to go to another one higher up, but they closed it all off because a bunch of people came down and partying and leaving garbage. This one's a little more remote, and nobody likes laying on rocks, so ta-da. But one of these days, I have talked to Todd. He is very busy. He has kids, work, and making those sluice boxes. I don't really want to compete with him on that. He's doing good. I will help promote him, and I've asked him, let's go do an episode together. It's just, he doesn't have a lot of time. He's hard to get a hold of. Unless you guys go to his site and tell him, hurry up and go hang out with Iron Fist. Because he knows who I am. Dan Bethel, guy that worked at the plastics place. I want to get him using my dredge because he said he's used a couple other people's hand dredges. He's not going to tell you that he didn't like them totally because he's not that kind of guy. He's not like me, just a blunt, mouthy dude. Todd thinks about what he says before he says it. Me, if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you it sucks. So, but he said he had some problems with some other brands out there, so I'd like him to use mine once and see what he thinks of my brand. So tell him, you guys bug Todd and tell him hurry up and get on Dan's show. I told him I thought a lot of people watch this and they would be interested in your product, so I just can't afford it. You know, I'm broke. That's why I'm down here getting gold. If I don't get gold, sometimes I don't eat, so I get hungry. I'm not going to sit at home and wish some magic Obama job's going to call me, because I know it's not. So I come down here and get some shiny. And I hope I hit a big pocket, which I don't, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm stupid like that. So there. You got a whole bunch of toggety. Let's get some gold. It's starting to get a little shady. I didn't start today until about 10. It was cold this morning. The wind was blowing and it was like actually cold here. But I made this new line and my new tailings pile is all right here to the sluices. And then some down there. I'm filling in all that area that was open. That's making a new beach. Reinforcing this one. If you guys don't know, the Romans came up with the term bank or banco, which means terrace or bench. And what I did last time down in here when I had that frying pan looking rock separator thing for the buckets, I made it flat and leveled it out with my feet as I walked by. And what happens is when the water comes in, it grabs all this loose sandy stuff that I put up on here, shoves it down to the end and kind of makes a dam. And then all the rocks will have all those clean spaces to fill in with gold. I came out here. Now, this spot right here is where that pile of rocks was that I made like an island thing back when the water was cold so I could leapfrog across the creek. And because the water's still high, I'm not going to go up to the top yet. It's not collecting up there, so I came midway down. And this is right before that spot where I made that S-turn thing on accident that kept filling up. And I've got down to the rocks that are close to the mat stuff, erosion control that's down there. And I'm getting decent gold today. I'm kind of half-assing it because I took 2 days off and my back hurt, which it still kind of hurts. But I'm getting decent gold. What else was I going to say? Oh, all I'm doing is kind of, when the rocks fill up, you'll see it happen with this thing if you guys have one or buy one from me or make one. You stick it down in the dirt, and I was telling one dude that it takes the size of a pan up in one draw, and you can actually watch it just make like this sinkhole about the size of a pan. And then what I do is I just kick the rocks out downstream, and they level out, making a better bunko. Why the Italians? Man, the Romans used to go and conquer people and build dams with the slave people, and then they'd have a couple of the slaves go down and pull the bottom rock and knock the dam down. It would wash through all this junk, and they'd just go by and pick up the gold. So that's why the Romans knew a little something about gold. It was the soldiers that knew something about digging for gold. And that's where we get our terms for banks, deposits, okay, like you're depositing stuff in banks. And that's why some bank terrace areas hold more deposits of gold. Get it? Now you know. Now you know where you thought it came from. It came from them Romans. So those short haircuts you guys all like rocking, that was a Roman idea. Everybody else used to have long hair. It wasn't until the Romans, and they only cut it short because they got a lot of bugs. So I don't know. Some of you dudes that look cool with long hair, you gotta try it once in your life. But there's some nice rocks, and I'm getting some decent gold. Sorry this episode's going on so long. Ugh. It's kind of deep and it's pretty cold. Like I said, it's not the warmest of days today. But it's a nice place to come hang out, not get yelled at or undervalued as an employee. And you can take breaks whenever you want. I kind of like taking breaks all the time. Not at work, but out here. When Joe comes, he cracks a whip. Oh, this is all the stuff out of the shark tooth. And I know I've said this before, but sometimes you can run it back through. Now, the reason I saved this much, it's about, and this bucket has marks on it. It's 1 gallon worth of dirt. And what I was thinking of doing is setting up the camera like Jaffe did, or Jaffe Gold Sucker, whatever thing, and see how long it takes to move 1 gallon of pay dirt type of material, sluice material. This would be the stuff dude was asking Dan, do you ever sell? This would be it. This is actual pay dirt. So maybe we'll set that up and see how long it takes to get rid of 1 gallon with my sucker of doom. On the sucker, let me put some on here. Nothing in it. See? Oh, got a rock stuck in it. Alright, I left a little bit in there because it's an awkward place, but that's about how long it takes. As you see, it empties it out rather well. It does get a little crooked sometimes if it gets something stuck up in there, but all you gotta do is shake it out and it's go time. No breakdowns. And it would be easier if that had a bigger base down there, but whack. Maybe that's why Jaffe's commercials suck so bad. But typically, you saw how quick it sucked the water out, so that's what I'm dealing with. The shovel just isn't as quick. It picks up too many damn rocks and you end up hurting your back. Those little snipers, the tiny ones, they're no good. 3-inch. I was even thinking a 6, but it'd be hard to hold on to. Have like this, get carpal tunnel real quick. So there you have it, people. I'm gonna keep digging. Figured I'd give you a bird's eye view of this thing working. All you really got to do is drill it down into the dirt and then pull back, and it rips up quite a bit of material. It'll make a pile pretty quick. Look at that, pull that big old chunk of root. Rock in there, damn it. Fucking things all screwed up. Thanks, rocks. Thanks, rocks. What it's leaving me with is just fine, sluiceable material that's down in there. After I shake it out, change hands here. No, there's no nuggets in there. There's no nuggets out here. It's only placer gold. But you can see all the dark material in there, especially right there. You like that? Hey, you like that jerky? You like that, don't you? It also spits it out down here, hanging on the bunco. You dig it? You understand? but I run it about that thick. You can see where it's coming off up here. The light will cooperate. I don't drop the camera in the water, but I can start to see the gold up here forming. In fact, if I don't get back to digging, it'll blow out, so bye-bye. Well, people, I've had to do a 180. When I started filming, I was facing the other way, this way, but now I can't because the sun's on the other side. So, what I'm going to show you in the shade over here is all this beach. I think we need a before and after, so Mr. Dan, can you before this? And this is after. It's all new beach. And since I did that little sucker thing, see how much it pulls out? I figure a gallon's worth of this type of material every 2 minutes. Okay, and it's even pulling up rocks and such. Stuff about that big. And if that's right, I ran a little longer today. I only did 3 cleanouts, but I ran them about an hour and a half. And I made this huge hole over here that you cannot see because the sun's going down. But if that's right, I'm doing 30 to 45 gallons per run cycle, and I did 3. So just saying on the safe side they were 20 in case I was slacking or kicking rocks or something. That'd be 60 buckets total today, so 6 yards of material. And I can kind of believe it because this stuff is like 2-3 inches thick, and all of this wasn't there. There's Old Beach, and then that little kicker out thing. So all of this, I mean, those are 3 feet long, okay? That gives you some scale. This is probably 20 feet. We're talking a bedroom is worth-ish. You spread it out, for sure. It's a lot. And I kicked a ton of a lot of this is the light sand I had to kick out of here while I was running, but a lot of it ran down in that pit I made for the bottom line. I guess all that is left is to go home and see what we got. What did we get with the Iron Fist Mining Sucker of Doom? Ooh, I caught a lighter in the sluice. Whoa, good job, dude. So, it's time to leave. Although it's rush hour, you can see a road over there. It's gonna suck trying to get across with this stuff. But man, I moved a lot, and I am sore. Let me tell you. Especially if that math's right. I mean, Jesus, no wonder why I get sore. Even if it was 20 buckets an hour. Good Lord, you know how much those weigh full. And you pick all that up. Ugh. Ugh. And then pan. But I hope that some of you are starting to see the benefits of working with nature rather than going out and I'm going to put my man on it, you know? Don't run out to nature and put your man on it, because if you work with nature, nature start working with you and you get better gold. And you guys need to yell at Todd. Go to his page and say, Todd, go mining with Dan. Go demonstrate your stuff on Dan's show. Just do it. I told him you guys wanted to get to know him more, and you should hear this cat talk. Wow, does he know a lot about gold. In fact, a lot of my increased production out here is due to Todd Osbourn's advice. He's a smart dude. Smart dude. And he's a good dude. Loves his kids and his family, dude. You can't get him to shut up about them. I'm like, yeah, great, you love your family. Tell me more about gold. I don't really say that, but I think that. But he does. He's really a family-oriented guy. That's why it's hard to get him to leave there. He's in his heaven, man. Manettes and people. He found it. He found heaven on earth. He did it. And he figured out how to make a really good gold trap, right? All right, enough of this yap. Gotta go. All right, people. On the way back, I ran into Mr. Howard Johnson III. A friend of mine. We met at Mallard Creek, a.k.a. Hell. So I got back a little earlier than anticipated, and there's the gold for today. It's kind of spread out in junk, but there you go. That's not bad. It's probably 2/10 of a gram, maybe 3. No giant pieces, right, Howard? Those aren't huge pieces. They look like it in the videos, but they're not.
No,
they're very tiny.
They're very flake-like. There's a couple of bigger flakes, but
they're tiny, right?
They are tiny.
They're tiny.
It's not like, actually, we used to do this stuff back in the day when we paint stuff, and we put gold flake in it to make like sparkly on the gas tank.
Yeah.
And this is not too dissimilar from that glitter.
That's in paint. That'd be an expensive paint job using that stuff.
Hey, there are people that wipe their ass with $100 bills too. So.
I'm not one of them. But if you're gonna do that, send me a roll of your toilet paper.
I'll even take it used.
So there you have it, people. Time to put it, dry it, and yada 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 yada.